What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again. A lot of y'all been tricking on these women and it's not been coming up well for you. Now look, I'm not here to judge you. I know it's gonna be a lot of people in the comment section, quit simping, quit tricking, blah 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 blah. Now some of y'all are just bitter, y'all tried it, it didn't work. Some of y'all just don't have the bread and you mad because you feel like somebody else is cheating. I get it. But I'm not here to tell somebody what to do. I'm here to help you do what you want to do and get the better results. So what's been going on? Most of the time, if you're struggling with the tricking game and it's not working out for you, you're not smashing, the girl's not messing with you like that, no matter how much money you spend, or she turns on you and tries to date somebody else as soon as she gets an opportunity. Normally, there's some mistakes that you're making in the tricking game, and it's usually 5 of them that are really causing you some trouble. I'm going to address these for you, and I'm going to help you get yourself together, and now you can be a top-notch trick if that's what you choose to be. Because, hey, for some of y'all that's out here going, oh, man, tricking is never the way. Look, I'm going to tell you this. You're going to lose something anytime you deal with people. Like, if you're dealing with a woman in any kind of way, shape, or form, if a woman is dealing with a man, you're gonna lose something. All right, that's just the way it goes. You're gonna spend something, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's emotional investment. People ain't just letting you smash, or people not just getting in relationships with you for absolutely nothing, depending on what side of it you're on. The first mistake that guys make when tricking, women make this mistake sometimes too, because women trick too. Some women are often the biggest tricks, but we talk about that in a video that's made for women. I'm talking about guys now. The biggest mistake that guys make when they're tricking is picking poor targets. The reason why you often pick poor targets is because you don't understand how the tricking formula works. All right, this is how it works. It's looks gap minus game minus status equals trick level. So what does that mean? So you got to basically say, this girl is a 10. I'm a 5. So that's a 5-point gap that we have. What type of, be real with yourself too. Some of y'all be fake with yourself. Be real with yourself. What type of game do I have? Okay, so if I have a lot of game, or say a decent amount of game, that might make up for a point. Maybe it may make up for 2. All right, so that means that I'm still gonna have to trick to make up those 3 points that are still missing. So wait, my status might be good. So, maybe I'm 5 million followers on Instagram. I'm taking pictures with celebrities, taking pictures on nice ass cars and stuff like that. That's going to increase my status. So now that's going to level out the gap a little bit more. So that may take another point, maybe 2 points away. So maybe in that situation, I only got to make up 1 point, maybe 2 points. So these are things you got to look at. Like, be real with yourself. What's my status? What's my game really like? If you shy, you don't really talk to girls, you don't really know what to say, okay, well then that means that the game's not helping you out. That's taking 0 away from the looks gap. If you don't have any status at all, then that's taking 0 away from your status gap. So when you first meet somebody, this is just basically saying, when I first meet a person, normally what's going to happen is you're going to have your looks, you're going to have your status, and you're going to have how much money you can spend. Then you're going to have the game that spins all of that stuff, okay? That's like the glue that puts everything together. That's like a point multiplier is the game, right? Now, eventually you'll be able to make a personal connection with the girl, but you can't make that when you don't know. So when we talk about tricking, what people use tricking for is to try to make some type of connection, to try to get the girl to start genuinely having some type of feelings for them, some type of connection that they don't want to let go. Like, I could get money from anybody, but I only want to get it from you because this is our connection. That's basically what tricking is designed to do. If you don't know that, that's probably why you've been struggling. So how do you do it? When you have an understanding of the formula, then you start understanding what you need to do because you know how many points you need to cover. When the looks gap is anywhere from 0 to 1, all you're going to need is a gesture of genuine interest. That's it. So you could buy some flowers, you could um, get a card, you could do something really, really small. You could spend $20, $5, $10. If the gap is zero, you could spend a dollar or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to really need to do too much tricking. If the gap is one, once again, you're not going to need to do too much. So this is you being honest with yourself and saying, what's the looks gap? Based on the things I just talked about. What's your game, your status? How did that come together? If that looks gap is 0 to 1, all you're going to need to do is a gesture of genuine interest. It's not going to cost you very much, but you're just going to have to show that you have some level of interest. That's going to make her want to talk to you more and deal with you. If you've calculated that the looks gap, based on the things that we talked about, the formula, if you calculated that the looks gap is 2 to 3 points, that means that you're going to have to give her a handful of better than average experiences. Once again, it's not going to cost you a ridiculous amount of money, but it's going to probably set you back a few dollars, okay? If you don't have it, then that's a poor target for you. If you don't have enough money to be able to create a handful of above average experiences. So what does that mean? A handful of above average experiences mean instead of taking her to Cheesecake Factory, you'll probably have to take her to a steakhouse. You'll probably have to get a little bit creative with it, take her on a hot air balloon ride or something like, probably not even that big, but something like that, something between Cheesecake Factory. Hell, you probably could get away with Cheesecake Factory, to be honest with you. You're just gonna have to do it multiple times. Where somebody else might take her to like a chain restaurant that ain't really even on the level of Cheesecake Factory. You take her to 2, 3, maybe 4. It's probably gonna take you about four above average experiences. So you might have to take her, you might have to go steakhouse. You might have to take her jet skiing or something one day. You see what I'm saying? Like these type of experiences that will cost you some money, but if they're above average, eventually she'll start making it more of a connection to you because she's connecting you with those experiences. So if the next guy come along and he offer her a couple of dollars or whatever, she's not as willing to go deal with him because she's had some of these above average experiences with you. That will cost you money because she's not going to do it for free because y'all are 2 or 3 points apart. So she's not going to go have an experience with you for free. It's not going to happen, most likely. Because if that was the case, then your game must have closed the gap enough to where you're at 0 to 1. If you have the ability to get her a woman who is physically 2, 3, 4 points above you, or even 2 or 3 points above you, to have a free experience with you, that means that you've miscalculated your game level. That closed the gap. You must have said something or done something that made her decide that made sense. Okay, so if you don't have that, she's not going to have a free experience with you. So you have to prepare yourself to pay for 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 above average experiences. That means that they're going to have to be creative. They're going to have to cost a little bit of money. They might have to be spontaneous. She's going to have to feel like you really put a lot of effort into it, or it's probably not going to work. And for some of y'all, that's been the problem. You're sending bags, cash apps, things of that nature, and the girl is like, yeah, it didn't create the above average experience. You got to do that. If the looks gap adjusted by status and game is still 4 points or above, you're going to have an immediate, semi-permanent lifestyle change. Once you get over 4, so if you're a 6 and you don't have any adjusting factors and she's a 10, the only way you're going to be able to connect with her in any way, shape, or form is if you have an immediate, and I'm saying immediate, she has to have a lifestyle change that basically going to happen within a day. There has to be an obvious pathway to a lifestyle change, and it has to be semi-permanent. What does semi-permanent mean? Semi-permanent means that you're doing something for her that's going to last like a year or more, 6 months, a year or more. A lot of times they don't really think that far ahead. You know, that's how people are. They don't think years ahead. So it doesn't have to be permanent. But, you know, it'd be like leasing somebody a Mercedes or something like that. That's a semi-permanent, immediate semi-permanent lifestyle change. I'm about to go take you to the dealership and get you a Mercedes. A lot of people aren't going to ask any real questions of how you're getting it, how long they're going to have it. They're not going to, a lot of people are not going to ask those questions. They're going to be like, Mercedes, okay, yeah, I like you now. That's usually what it takes. Now, a lot of people are like, man, I'm not tricking to do that. But you got to ask yourself a real question. Would you be talking to her if she didn't look that good? So why would you expect her to talk to you if you're not spending any money? Why would you expect her to put energy and time into you if you're not spending any money? You know, date somebody that's closer to your level then, and you probably won't even have to do any of that stuff. Once again, that's what I'm talking about with the target. A lot of people don't want to spend the money, but they want a trick. You know, they want to have somebody of that level, but they don't want to spend the money. But they don't want to do anything to improve their game. They don't want to improve their status. They don't want to improve their own physical appearance. But you want girls that are 10s. The only way you're going to be able to do that is to spend money. All right? Duh. So the first thing that people mostly struggle with is not picking the proper target for what they're willing to put in, what they're willing to spend. You got to think about all these things I just put together right now. That's going to help you pick your target. The second mistake that most guys make when they're tricking is a high bid. You're offering something major, not really knowing what the girl is used to. Some of y'all just jump in with the highest bid possible. And, oh, well, I'm going to take you to Jamaica on a private. And the girl has never been outside of her city before. The girl has never been to any nice place. Sometimes she starts feeling like you're weird because that's just not what she's used to getting. And it's so far away from what she's used to that it seems fake. It's scary to her. You got to take some time to get to know the person and see what they're used to and see what other people have offered them. And you go a little bit above that. Don't go crazy. Because then you have to also try to keep maintaining this. And depending on what your financial situation is, you may not be able to do so. So bid exactly where you need to be. If she's walking around with a $20 bag, at most buy her a $200 bag. Don't go $2,000, $15,000. Don't. Why are you doing that? That's just making it to where you have to spend more and more money and you're bidding against yourself. If she's walking around with a $20 bag, if she's walking around with a $20 outfit on, that means that nobody's spending that type of money on her. So why are you spending it? It doesn't make any sense. You're basically bidding against yourself at that point. And when you buy her those things, what ends up happening is you actually increase her value to other guys, which is ass backwards. Go a little bit above what she already has. And most of the time, whether they admit it or not, whether they get in the comment section and say they're not going for that, they will, because clearly they have this thus far. Otherwise, they would have more stuff. The number 3 thing I touched on a little bit in the first, when I talked about the first mistake, the number 3 mistake is just buying materials instead of creating experiences. So if you just go buy her a watch or a bracelet or makeup, things of that nature, a lot of times you just become nothing but a trick, just nothing but somebody that she gets money from, like an ATM, you're a credit card, you're nothing more. If you create experiences, those are things that she has to go to you for, and they're also memories that are created that have you involved in them. A lot of times when a woman is dealing with you initially and you're giving her money or you're doing things for her, or she just looks at you and like, you know what, he ain't really my type or what I'm looking for, a lot of times she's just looking for that bread, just looking for that money. But when you create those experiences with her, now that breaks down a little of the physical barrier between you, and she starts saying, you know what, I remember I went horseback riding in the ocean with dude. That was cold. Yeah, we went to Puerto Rico and did that. That was fun. We stayed at this nice hotel. We moved around. We did stuff together. We went parasailing. These are moments that you guys literally had together. So now when she thinks about that memory, you are attached to it. If you just buy her a tennis bracelet, she ain't thinking about you. You know, she over here like, okay, I used a credit card. It happened to be yours, but I got a tennis bracelet. Who cares? You know, so if she's not even willing to create memories and moments with you, then that means that you're so far away from getting with that girl that there's no reason to even spend that money. You got to create memories and moments, and yeah, that may cost you some money, but you're paying for the opportunity to create those moments because she's just not feeling you physically on a level to where she'll just give you a chance. You don't have the game to get her to do it for free, and you don't have the status to where she'll do it just because you are who you are. The fourth thing you struggle with when you trick is lack of focus. Some of y'all tricking on everybody. Y'all tricking on 10,000 women at a time. And because you're tricking on 10,000 women at a time, you're just throwing money around and wasting most of it. You're not building any experiences with these women. You're not actually making a real heartbeat to heartbeat connection with any of these women because you're just throwing money around. You in everybody's Cash App. You on DMs. You in the DMs talking about, yo, send me your Cash App. I'm trying to buy you this. I'm trying to buy you that. You know, find some people that you really like, that you really want to deal with, and focus on maybe one or two girls and start spending your money there. Don't spend your money on 50, 60 different women because it doesn't mean anything. Even if you send them a lot of money, still, you know, you're just fishing. And at the end of the day, you're not going to spend enough time with anybody to build any kind of a connection that's going to lead to you being able to deal with them regularly without even spending money every single time. If you can build a connection with the person, you don't have to spend money every single time. There just has to be an underlying idea that you will spend money if necessary. Hey, if your phone bill come up, I'm gonna get you. Hey, if you're hungry, I'm gonna be the person to take you out to eat. Those are the type of things that you're offering, but you're also having experiences that didn't even cost you anything. And usually in the long run, it balances out where you actually probably will save money by focusing on somebody and spending money on them rather than just spending money on everybody. Normally what will end up happening is you'll buy certain things, create certain experiences on the front end to get her to like you enough to where it doesn't cost you so much to chill with her every single time. The number 5 mistake that's probably one of the biggest is hesitation. So you create a moment with a girl. She's giving you the signs that things might be able to go to the next level. And here you go twiddling your thumbs, twiddly-dee, twiddly-dee, and you don't get at her. You know, you really got to pull the trigger on those type of moments. Otherwise, you spend a whole bunch of money, you created a moment, and the moment passed. Most of the time, the moment will be there kind of early on. You'll spend that money, you'll create that moment, y'all laying on the beach together after y'all done all these fun things, and she kind of rub your leg a little bit, and then you just kind of sit there and look at her. Or, you know, y'all stay in a hotel room together, she toot that thing up on you, and you kind of just sit there and you don't make a move. Well, you know, here you go. Now you're in a situation where because you didn't really make a move, because you hesitated, it's going to take a whole nother cycle of doing those same things. And sometimes you even have to up the ante before the opportunity even comes where you'll be able to smash, you know, or you'll be able to create any type of moment with the girl. So you got to really kind of be quick on a trigger for those type of things. As soon as the opportunity comes up, boom, you got to hit it. You know, it's like if you're a running back and you see a hole right there, you know, if you don't run through it, if you're sitting over there hesitating, chopping your feet, you know, closes up. You feel what I'm saying? The opportunity is gone. You missed it.